2023, we are pleased to honor Tim and Joan Porter of the Migas Lodge, and of course the Migas family. We've heard a lot about the Migas magic as we've been going through all of these interviews, and we truly were able to experience the Migas magic. And just every level of detail, every touch, every piece of hospitality that they have extended to their guests and to their employees, who they take care of just as well as they do their guests. So it's my honor to congratulate both Tim and Joan Porter and the entire Migas family on this Lifetime Achievement Award, the Masters of New England Innkeeping Lifetime Achievement Award.
I came here as a guest in 1979, and Tim was here helping his parents, mostly his dad at that point, who had some health issues. And just to shorten a very cute and long story, I never left, actually. I came with my mom and 2 kids. Tim also had 2 kids. We were both divorced, and we got married a few months later, and here we are. Now, Tim's parents put in a couple of tennis courts and got a liquor license, and I mean, it had started to evolve, but it still was kind of a nice fishing campy kind of place. And as you can see, we decided to start to get more upscale, but always keeping in mind to keep the old charm and the Migas magic.
Migas has been around since 1916. It started as a place called National Camps. My understanding is that it was mostly a gentleman's fishing lodge at first, but it was bought in 1924 by the Gulick family, who to this day still owns Camp Ohilo and owned a number of camps in the area back in the day, and they changed the name to Migas, which is a Abenaki Indian word for place to steal away to rest. Migas was purchased by my grandparents in 1968, and so it's been in our family since then, and I'm proud to be stewarding the property as a 3rd-generation operator here. There's a certain feel and ambiance and character that this place offers that is very important to preserve.
By the time we finally were able to buy it from Tim's parents, I felt that it was great starting off at the bottom like that and working my way up, because Tim, he'd come from a hotel family, but I had a strong sense of what I thought hospitality should be like, and fortunately I agreed with what Tim thought. We complemented each other because I was a little more detail-oriented, and he was more high profile and loved, driving the boat on the lake cruises. And fortunately, there's so much to do in an inn that 2 spouses can actually, not interfere with each other too much. I was more the front desk and reservations and everything aesthetic and the housekeeping and cottages and gardens.
I love working with Joan and Tim. They're 2 separate people, for starters. He had a desk, but he wasn't the kind of guy that was always at his desk. You know what I mean? He was very hands-on, and as is she. I hope she told you. I mean, she does a lot of housekeeping. She's walking around in her sweatshirt and her sneakers, and she's checking and cleaning and straightening, and she has a perfect eye for things. Tim was just a lot of fun. I spent a lot of time with him at the front desk. He taught me how to make the perfect Bloody Mary mix. Never shall we vary this recipe, very important. They are interested in everything. They're people who always want to learn more, always want to go more places.
Tim was always around and involved in everything, and Joan was kind of like the power behind the throne. People may not be aware of how involved she is. The details, the ambiance, the aesthetics, that's really Joan.
Tim as Summer's version of Santa Claus, and I would describe Joan as a sort of real-life version of Katharine Hepburn. Calm, incredibly beautiful, powerful, and 2 really kind, generous people is how I would describe them.
They care. They care about the people, that work for them. So, I mean, that's why people come back, I think, is because they've been treated well.
What's really amazing is the culture that they've created here it has created an amazing amount of longevity for staff in a seasonal property. And so, I've been here 35 plus years. There's a lot of brothers and sisters and parents and children who all work here, which I think is a really nice testament to what we're all about.
If you come long enough and you fall in love, which There's something wrong with you if you don't. The same people tend to come back to the same week each year because you want to hold on to your cabin, otherwise you might lose it. And so you get to know the people that are here for the time that you're here. And it's very special to make these new friendships.
We just love coming up here. It reminds me of the anticipation for Christmas morning. And I see it in my children and my grandchildren. It's like having 2 Christmas a year, because for weeks prior, they're talking about it. And it's just like prior to Christmas. It's exciting.
It's very magical. I think everybody who comes here and keeps coming here, they know it's different than any place else they could ever go.
Our children really, on our 20th anniversary, they dedicated the bench to us. And I think it's almost time for another bench, because this is 20, we're 42 now.
When our dad died, Tim and Joan drove down for the funeral, which I thought was amazing. And then I was on the phone with Tim and Joan, and they said they'd like to do something, maybe to remember my father. And I was talking to them about it, and I told them that it was his favorite place. And they said, briefly, why? And I said, well, he always said there was no better view in the world than a lake in the foreground and mountains in the distance. So Tim and Joan had the bench made that is now by the front desk that says a lake in the foreground and mountains in the distance.
We got married and we had children of our own, and they love it, I think, more than any place in the world. Because they come back, they love the tradition. There's just a magic to that they don't find anyplace else.
They also treat the staff and the employees as a level of guest. We're all guests here, but I think Masters of Innkeeping suggests that the children are guests too, and so is staff.
This was not a big enough place to offer a career for too many people. So that's when we decided to maybe expand a little bit, so we'd be able to offer opportunities to these people if they chose to pursue the hospitality business.
Food service and hospitality industry is legitimate. You need great trainers and incubators and places to have young people from Maine and other parts of the world come and learn what it is to be a professional giver of food service and hospitality. And I think that's a great gift.
Their devotion to their employees and making them better and teaching them the trade really is one of the reasons why Tim and Joan absolutely deserve this award.
Now our vision really is, how do we continue to add value to the guest experience? How do we continue to innovate and meet modern expectations while preserving traditions which have been really important to Migas?
What we hope for is that they've just done what a vacation should do, which is to relax your mind, offer opportunities to spend time with your loved ones and friends, throw in some really good food, friendliest staff they maybe ever had. There's so many passionate and committed innkeepers in New England, so to be selected for recognition among that elite group is just, I kind of don't know what to say, because, I felt like our career was sort of its own reward every day and every season, and Tim feels the same way. If it's perceived that we did contribute in some way to the industry, it's like, oh, good, because even though that wasn't what we were thinking about, it's neat to know,
Tim and Joan, congratulations, of course. You've never been about recognition in what you do, but this is well deserved, and very happy for you.
Thank you for giving me this life in Maine, in the woods, in your beautiful place of business. Thank you for giving me a purpose and a feeling of satisfaction when I go home from my job at night.
Thank you for all you've done for me, for us, and for our industry.
You deserve all the awards, all the accolades.
We're very proud of you.
Thank you very much, Tim and Joan. Your properties are among the best in Maine.
Congratulations, Tim and Joan. It's been an amazing 36 years, and I'm so proud to be working here and working with you all and your family.
It's a cliche, but thanks for the memories.
Your generosity is unbelievable, endless. Thank you.
And just thank you for the gift.
Thank you so much for the love and the opportunity. Thank you for giving me a career.
Congratulations to Tim and Joan Porter of Migas Lodge and the entire Migas family on this wonderful honor. You are truly masters of New England innkeeping.